Hey everybody, it's your boy Dustin, and the day we've all been waiting for has arrived. We've been waiting and waiting, but it's finally here. Alright, so maybe we were thinking of different things, but since this is primarily a PlayStation focused channel, I guess we can talk about the PlayStation 5. This past Wednesday, Sony gave us a ton of new info about the PS5 in the appropriately named PlayStation 5 Showcase. So for this video, we're going to go over all the biggest announcements from the event, and let's talk a little bit about the pre-order fiasco that happened after. To keep this video from going too long, I will be skipping some announcements like Hogwarts Legacy and the Black Ops Cold War gameplay, and I'll mainly be sticking to first and second party. So the event kicked off with an awesome trailer for Final Fantasy XVI, and let's be real for a second, the Roman numerals in this game are starting to get a little out of hand. I'm personally looking forward to Final Fantasy XVIII or XVIII, or Final Fantasy XIX at XIX. Anyway, this trailer looked fantastic. To me, it's clear they're mixing some classic JRPG feel with some Western influences. I don't know about you, but I was getting a strong Witcher 3 and Game of Thrones vibe, especially from the whole medieval aspect of the game. Though we can only hope the ending will be better than Game of Thrones. Not that that would be that hard to do. One of the more interesting aspects of this title is producer Naoki Yoshida and director Hiroshi Takai. Yoshida is most well known for working on Final Fantasy XIV, both the failed launch version and A Realm Reborn. He also directed both the critically acclaimed expansions Stormblood and Shadowbringers. Takai, on the other hand, is a bit more of a newcomer when it comes to directing. While he's been in the industry for a while now, going all the way back to working on QA on Ys the Vanished Omens in 1988, his only other sole directing credit is on the 2009 Square Enix title The Last Remnant. He also worked on Final Fantasy XIV with Yoshida as an assistant director. In my opinion, I'm really happy to see a fresh direction for the mainline Final Fantasy series. While I've enjoyed the more modern aesthetic of recent titles like 15 and 13, going back to a more classic Final Fantasy setting feels refreshing, and I'm excited to see more of this game for sure. Hopefully we don't have to wait 10 years.
Bruh.
But with Square Enix, anything is possible. One other quick thing to note about this game is that it will have some form of console exclusivity to the PlayStation 5, though the actual nature of the deal seems to be a little confusing. According to industry analyst Piers Harding Rolls, it appears the game is fully exclusive for 6 months before the game can come to PC, but there is no official confirmation of a PC release yet from Square. After 12 months, the game is then able to be pushed to other platforms such as Xbox Series S and X. But just like the PC version, just because the deal is up, that doesn't mean the game will instantly be released on those other platforms. Next up, we got our first look at gameplay for Spider-Man Miles Morales. To me, the gameplay really speaks for itself here. It definitely looks like more Spider-Man, and that's not a bad thing at all. I will say that the graphics looked really phenomenal with tons of particles and explosions, plus the ray trace puddles. They looked really good, honestly. I mean, they look good in the original Spider-Man too, but whatever. One of the most surprising aspects of this game we actually learned after the event. First of all, the title is also coming to PlayStation 4, and I know that may be upsetting to some people who feel that the game is being held back by the previous generation. This just makes sense though on numerous levels for Sony. Just this past August, Sony revealed they had sold 112 million PlayStation 4s, and with that huge install base, Sony would be leaving an insane amount of cash on the table to not also release the game on PS4. Plus, having cross-gen games, especially at launch, is just a normal fact of how these things work. Plus, based on what we saw, I'm sure the game is going to look fantastic on the PlayStation 5. Miles Morales will launch alongside the PlayStation 5 for $49.99, and there will also be an Ultimate Edition of the game for $69.99. That version includes the original Spider-Man, but remastered for the PlayStation 5. And while a PlayStation 5 version of the original Spider-Man is exciting, there's a bit of a scummy aspect to it if you ask me. The only way to get this upgraded version of the game is through this Ultimate Edition. So if you already have Spider-Man for PlayStation 4, whether it's disc or digital, there's definitely no free upgrade, and there isn't even a way to pay for an upgrade. Sure, you'll be able to play the game through backwards compatibility, but if you want that remastered version, you're going to have to buy the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales. Now, listen, I have in the past made the unpopular argument for paid upgrades, as these upgrades can cost significant development time, thus potentially they should be paid for by the consumer. But I will always be an advocate for more purchasing options, and locking the upgrade behind the Ultimate Edition just feels a little gross to me. Alright, here we go. The big home run for me was the Demon's Souls remake, and wow, this game looks great. The density of detail in the world just looks incredible. The lighting looks fantastic, and seeing this all in 60 FPS is simply stunning. This is the game I know I'll be playing first when the console comes out. One detail to clear up though is that when the standalone trailer was first put on the PlayStation YouTube channel, there was a graphic at the end saying the game was also coming to PC, and that it would eventually come to other consoles. It ended up that this graphic was totally in error, and the game will be exclusively coming to PlayStation 5. This means Demon's Souls is one of the only games to be exclusively made for next generation hardware. It appears that Destruction All-Stars is also a PS5 only game, but oddly we didn't get any kind of new info on that title despite it being a launch game. But yeah, this Demon's Souls remake just looks really, really phenomenal to me. This is a game, the original I had played a little bit of, but I didn't really get the whole Dark Souls formula quite yet. So now that am more of a veteran of that whole series of games, I'm so excited to go back and check this out. And really, I just can't hit home enough that this game really feels like a next generation game to me in the way that the other games don't feel. There's also a new service coming as an added bonus to PlayStation Plus called the PlayStation Plus Collection. It is a huge library of PlayStation 4 titles that will be instantly playable on PlayStation 5 with a PlayStation Plus subscription. Maddie will be dedicating an entire episode of SideQuest to this service soon, so we're just going to leave it at that. Look forward to that coming soon. And now let's quickly summarize the end of the show. The standard PlayStation 5 with the disc drive will be $499, and the digital edition will be $399. The console will launch on November 12th in the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. Everyone else will have to wait until November 19th. Sorry.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
Remember last week when I told you the prices would be $399 and $499? Alright, I know that wasn't very hard to predict, but just let me have this one. Last but certainly not least, the follow-up to 2018's God of War was teased for a 2021 release. I don't have a lot to say on this other than I thought the tease was kind of boring, as we clearly knew the sequel was coming at some point, and I'm not really a fan of logo-only announcements. As far as the 2021 release date, I have to say I'm skeptical. I think one of two things will happen. Either A, the game will be delayed to 2022, or this is a much smaller release than the 2018 reboot. Who knows though? Maybe we're going to start seeing more shorter AAA releases from Sony in line of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy and the upcoming Spider-Man Miles Morales. Okay, one last thing to touch on is what happened after the event. Sony's official statement was that pre-orders would begin the following day. Perfect. That gives people a little time to think and decide, maybe look at their finances to see if they're even able to, and damn it, Walmart put up their pre-orders the same night and began a huge pre-order frenzy. Target, GameStop, Best Buy, Amazon all quickly followed up by putting the console up for order that very same night. It was chaos. If you were planning on pre-ordering one of these, hopefully you were there looking at Twitter or something, because now there is really no clue on when more pre-orders will go up. There is hope though, as Walmart did do a second batch of pre-orders on Thursday, so hopefully more will become available as we get closer to launch. As far as what happened, it's hard to say. Some people think Sony intentionally lied to create a buying frenzy, with some people pre-ordering numerous consoles as a just in case. Personally, I think Walmart screwed up, putting out their orders live earlier than they were meant to, or maybe even intentional based on this tweet. Other retailers saw this and did not want to miss out on the hype, so they went ahead and just let them go live. Either way, it was a total mess and really should have been handled better. Though I will say, as someone who's trying to get their holds on an RTX 3080, getting a PS5 was a cakewalk, so I don't want to see too much complaining. Those things sold out literally within a refresh. I'm not bitter or anything. So, were you pleased with what you saw at the PlayStation 5 Showcase? Have you pre-ordered, or are you planning to try to pre-order a PlayStation 5? Also, why does Demon's Souls look so damn good? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments of this video. Also, you really should subscribe to us here on SideQuest. It's not hard to do. Hit the button, hit the bell, because Maddie and I have an excellent flow going on with content every single week, and you're not going to want to miss out on that. So, thanks everybody. I hope you guys like this video. Until next time, see you guys later.